Ernest Augustus Jentsch was an Australian soldier who served as a Lance Sergeant in the Australian Army during World War I. He was born in Enmore, Sydney, Australia in 1893, the only son to his parents Ernest Felix Jentsch and his mother Alice Elizabeth Jentsch. For his whole life he lived in Petersham, an inner western suburb of Sydney. He went on to work as a clerk in a motorcyclist store. He bravely volunteered to serve his country and enlisted into the Australian Imperial Forces, also known as the AIF, on Monday, the 28th of June, 1915, at the early age of 21. He was first assigned to the 11th Reinforcements for the 3rd Battalion. Jentsch sailed from Sydney to Egypt aboard HMAT A-14 Euripides to obtain 6 months of training in Egypt. Ernest was later transferred to the 53rd Battalion as a private on the 16th of February 1916. Whilst posted in Tel el-Kebir and Ismailia, he was promoted to corporal due to his skill whilst serving. Shortly after, he was appointed to Lance Sergeant on the 22nd of May, all whilst still in Egypt. The 53rd Australian Infantry Battalion embarked from Alexandria on 19th of June 1916 as part of their British Expeditionary Force bound for the Western Front in France to face the harsh realities of the front line. Ernest Battalion arrived in France on the 28th of June for service on the Western Front. They began advancing towards the line of battle at Flobé. The journey towards the trenches took 19 days, arriving on the 17th of July before an attack on Fromelles was due to take place. Fromelles was the first major battle fought by Australian troops on the Western Front of France. The attack was directed towards a powerful German help position known as the Sugarloaf. The troops aimed to draw German soldiers away from the Somme, then pursue them further south. There was much debate on whether the poorly planned battle should go ahead. The British felt as though the Germans' defence was weak enough to penetrate through their front line, so the attack on Fromelles went ahead. Ernest's battalion entered the trenches in preparation for the attack. The 53rd Battalion, which was Ernest, was the fifth in line to attack the Germans. The battle became a slaughterhouse with 5,533 men killed, wounded, or taken prisoner following the 14-hour battle. Ernest's battalion alone incurred 625 casualties, almost 3/4 of the battalion. The battle was referred to as the worst night in Australian military history. Jentsch was amongst the dead. He was killed by a shell which blew his head off. Ernest died within the first hour of battle, in land controlled by the Germans. He was confirmed amongst the dead by the Germans in 1916. Ernest's death was an unnecessary one and was a tremendous loss to all who knew him. He was a kind, brave and giving person, all traits that truly showed during his time of service. His sacrifice is one that can never be repaid, and we can only hope that we do right by him. We hope that this film sheds light on the life of Ernest Augustus Jentsch and the incredible things he did in his short life.